Louisiana. From its iconic cities to the swamps of Acadiana, its geography is just as diverse as the people that live there. To this day, family is at the core of who we are, and one of the things we love to do is share. As a Rainy Cajun, I might be what you consider a Louisiana expat. Now living in the Seattle area, one of my missions in life has been to share my culture and introduce more people than ever to the place that I still call home. So grab your favorite beverage, find a spot to sit back and relax. The next episode begins now. Well, happy Saturday, everybody out there, to my favorite Couillons. My name is Jeremy. I'm the host here at the Rainy Cajun podcast, and today is Saturday, August 12th. We're coming to you live from my studio in I call it the perch. It's kind of one of the highest rooms in the house. Wasn't quite thinking that through when I set everything up and realized that heat rises, and this happens to be the room that generates the most heat. But anyway, that said, welcome to yet another episode. We are at episode 104 of the Rainy Cajun podcast. This is really, it's the first season, fourth episode. But what I wanted to do today was I'm going to try and keep it a little bit short. Next weekend is going to be massive. Of course, I'm talking about what is going to be the Cajun Fest, which is located in Kent, Washington. So if you've not purchased tickets for this, and really the ticket is more of a reservation than anything else, the QR code is right there on the screen. I would make plans to be there as early as possible. If you look at the band list, there are, what would I got? 1, 2, 3, 4 bands. We've got food trucks, and there is also a beer garden. So there's a lot going on in a very short period of time. It's only 5 hours. So if you've got Mardi Gras gear, if you've got like beads that you earned or purchased, and you know what I'm talking about if you know what earning is, then wear them, and be ready to dance and be ready to eat. As far as what's going to be at the show or at the festival, it's going to be a lot of different things. Of course, Alta's, the Cajun grocery that you saw here in episodes 1 and 2, they will be kind of the epicenter for the festival. So they will have their own food in addition to the food trucks that are in the area. So get there early. There's, as far as like purchasing things, there's going to be tons of, there's going to be vendors, but then there's also going to be at Alta's. He's got his entire lineup of groceries that he's going to be stocked. So it's your job and mine to help clean them out. So if you're interested in trying some of that gumbo, he'll have that. He'll have a few other little knick-knack items. I hate to speak on his behalf because sometimes things go a little sideways right before when they're supposed to happen. So let's just say that gumbo will definitely be on the menu, and everything else will be, what we call lanyap. And if you're from the area, you know what it is. If you're not, lanyap actually is a term that means a little something extra. And you'll hear it a lot in Southeast Louisiana vernacular. And you'll hear it here from time to time. If I've got a little something extra for you at the end of the show, I'll usually put that in the form of a lanyap. And so I haven't quite thought about how I'm going to do that just yet. But as far as my presence at the show, I will be there. And I would love if you can stop by. If you have the opportunity to swing by, either while you're eating or after you're eating or whatever, and just come by and share your thoughts. We'll put you on camera, and as long as we keep it family friendly, we should be a-okay. So well, I'll have my drone there too, so I'll take a lot of aerial footage. I think it's going to be really cool. And if the weather holds up, we should have decent temperatures for that day. So dress accordingly, come hungry, and pack your patience too. There are limited parking spots available very close by. And then after that, you have to kind of park further and further away. That said, it goes without saying, just be respectful of the other businesses in the area. They still have to do work too, and they still have customers that come in. So if they have a no parking sign up, just please honor that. And then as far as other places to park, all up and down along the road, the railway there that passes in front of Alta's, that will be available for parking. There will be some areas that are closed off. The beer garden will be fenced off because the State Liquor and Control Board thinks that a fence is going to prevent somebody from somehow drinking 2 steps over to the outside of the fence. But whatever that case is, I've never understood that. I've been in the business for a long time, and I still don't understand that. Much like up until recently, Oregon would not allow you to pump your own gas. And so for those of you who live outside the area, it's like, what? So yeah, you go to Costco or you go to any gas station. When I was growing up, they were calling them filling stations, but you go there and there's some dude waiting, and you're not paying any extra. Supposedly you're not paying any extra to have them fill up your gas, but you couldn't get out of your car to fill your tank. And they just rescinded that in Oregon. It's 2023, and they just rescinded that. So, all right. So that's enough about Cajun Fest. Just plan on attending. They're projecting anywhere between 3,000 and 5,000 people over a 5-hour period. So, again, pack your patience. Come early if you're looking for a specific type of food, because quite obviously, if this is a Cajun themed festival, you're going to see most of that kind of food disappear first, and then you're going to be left with hot dogs and hamburgers and things that you can get anywhere. So if you're coming out for the experience, the sooner the better. Stake your claim and then just party on, just have a good time. And like I said, stop by. I'm planning right now to be in front of Alta's, off to the side a little bit, and I'll poke and prod and see if there's people that want to come and sit down and talk to me. But yeah, it would be great if you could join us for the festival. I think it's going to be a really fun time. Something else that I wanted to bring up was the usage that I did at the beginning of the show, where I called you guys couillons. Now, couillon, it's spelled a lot of different ways, but for the sake of keeping things simple, you just say COO-YON. There is a French spelling of it, and it is used, originally was used as terminology for somebody who's kind of dumb, and somehow it's morphed into more of a term of endearment, kind of like a redneck. And typically Cajuns call each other couillon. It's usually not somebody outside the Cajun community. This is something that I've just learned recently, and to be honest with you, I don't see a lot of the usage of the term couillon in and around Louisiana. I did see for a time the term coon ass, and not to be confused with any racial epithets or anything like that. Coon ass was largely looked unfavorably upon by the Cajun community down in Louisiana due to its negative connotations and its originations from the French language. So generally, yeah, you'll see people say coon ass, and they have hats that say coon ass, but that's kind of gone away. So if we're gonna be coming out with some Rainy Cajun merchandise that'll say Couillon, but we won't be saying coon ass for a lot of reasons. The biggest one being that if you're outside the region, nobody knows what the hell you're talking about, and then we don't want fights breaking out at Costco or parties or things like that. So, I just wanted to kind of clarify that a little bit, and something that both Neil and I really haven't talked about is where we're from. Now, we'll probably have a larger discussion about where he's from and his family, and more in depth about me growing up in the part of Louisiana that I grew up in. But my lineage dates back to the early Cajun settlements. In fact, our family has been in the region since the late 1600s, or I think it was 1650, somewhere around there. So mid 1600s. So it's been a while since our family's been in the area. Now, that said, I grew up in a suburb of New Orleans, and so my background as it relates to why did I become the Rainy Cajun, as well, I am Cajun, and the rain comes from believe it or not, being in the Seattle area. Everybody associates Seattle with rain. Well, come to find out, New Orleans and Southeast Louisiana actually get more annual rainfall than Seattle does. Seattle just has this kind of perpetual mist that seems to exist. Oh gosh, it feels like October to June, and if you don't own a hoodie, you're out of place. If you own an umbrella, you're out of place. So the rain here is definitely it can get bad, but it's generally just kind of this more of like a drizzle. The thing about Seattle that it does not have going for it in the winter months is that it is so far north. It is quite possible that if you work a long work day, you are going to work in the dark and you are coming home in the dark. And that is for basically November through February where you see that. So not to get too far off track, but that's where Rainy came from with the Rainy Cajun. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of perspective on me growing up in the suburbs when Neil and I talk overall. But just so you know, I'm not going to be the like a personality, and from the standpoint that I'm not going to be over the top. I mean, Cajun people from Louisiana are normal people just like everybody else. We just have a unique background, and we like to share it with people. And that's something that I put in the intro of the show is we like sharing the kind of what it is that makes us unique in North America. And one of the things that I've definitely learned being outside of the region for so long is that the people who are similar expats like I am, who've left, we tend to be very fiercely defensive of the food that is called Cajun food, and the I guess the culture and the music and all those things. More defensive than I would say other groups or cultures are with their background. And I don't know if it's because we have a little bit of we definitely have a unique heritage. There's no doubt about it. And the food is, I mean, when you think about it, when you go around to places, and there are pizza places, there are bagel places, there are Italian places, but they're not very regional. I mean, it's not to say that they aren't. If you go to Manhattan, it's just insane the amount of hyper regional restaurants that exist. So, you know, Amalfi Coast Italian, like Positano type of Italian. You wouldn't find that in most places in the United States, but for some reason, Louisiana food, in particular Cajun food, which kind of had a huge uptick in the 1980s, remains kind of a constant amongst all these different restaurants. And so when people go to a restaurant, if they're from Louisiana and they're outside of town, or outside of home, they'll often try and compare it with what they remember from back home. And I get it, I understand it, but I don't agree with that sentiment. And the reason is this: having owned a New Orleans restaurant, a Cajun restaurant, for close to 6 years, which we also had a brewery attached to, we saw all kinds of varying opinions about what is Cajun, what is New Orleanian, what is Creole. And the reality is that, like any other cuisine, it evolves over time. I would say that there are certain standards that will never go away: gumbo, jambalaya, etouffee, you name it. Stuff that's existed for quite a long time will continue to exist. But like everybody else, people in Louisiana are always searching for something new. This is like, for instance, when broiled oysters became a thing. I don't know if you've ever had a broiled oyster, charbroiled oyster before. I personally don't like oysters, and at my age, I challenge you to get me to like them. But I would say that the one dish that I saw, not recently, this is something that's been around for a while now, but it's just using the local food, oysters, to and cook them or prepare them and over an open flame grill in just a massive amount of seasoned butter that goes on top of it. And these things quite literally fly off the shelves. I seem to recall the numbers of, or dozens of, oysters that this one particular restaurant went through, and it was mind-boggling. I mean, it was like, I didn't know that there was enough oysters for just one restaurant, let alone all of them out there that are making oyster whatever, all the way from this charbroiled oyster through seafood gumbo. I don't like oysters in my seafood gumbo. Do you? I don't like it. It's just not. It's like, I don't know. It's like slime balls inside my gumbo. Not a thing. But oysters, oyster po' boys, that I will try. I'd be willing to try anything fried at least once. Okay, so we're at 20 minutes in at the moment. I did want to bring up one more thing, and that is what we're going to do moving forward is kind of a combination of live shows like you see right now, and then also we'll have some pre-recorded content. Now, earlier this morning, I went ahead and purchased a bunch of Bluebell ice cream. Now, for those of you who live in the Pacific Northwest, Bluebell may not be a brand that you've heard of before, and that's fine. Um, I found out about Bluebell growing up as a child in New Orleans. And for the longest time, I guess I thought that they were a Louisiana brand. Turns out they're not. They're from Texas. And I think I might even have, let me see if I can. This is one of the nice things about doing it live. I can do things on a whim. Okay, yes, you can use my location, Google. All right. So let's see if I take this picture somehow. Oh, they made everything draggable. Well, here, how about this? I'll just do a quick screen capture and I'll drag that into the window. There we go. And should be. Ah, that's weird. Let's see if I just drag this to the. Nope, that doesn't work either. Okay. Well, Bluebell ice cream or just bluebell.com will get you to their website. Um, and let's see. They've got two locations, one in Texas, which I believe is the original, and then I don't know even how to say this. Somebody probably could let me know. But there's another creamery in Alabama too. And they have one of the nice things about Bluebell is that they have certain types of ice cream depending upon the season. And they do, let's see, they do lots of different ones. So today, let's see, I got banana pudding, which I believe can I take that? Wow, they just made it so that you can't do anything on their website. See if I just drag that. And done. There we go. Let's see. Drag that in. There we go. Bluebell ice cream. So I can't really. I'm gonna eat these 6 that I got today. And let me see if I can share the screen of my web browser here, and you might be able to see. Let's see. Don't need that. And we're going to. Let me see if I can do a. There we go. Share screen overlay. And that is right here. That, let's see, I can pick. Sorry, you're seeing all the background stuff here, but there we go. And we don't need it to be tall, we need it to be wide. Okay. And get rid of some of this. You don't need to see my chat windows. All right. There we go. On the fly. Look at that. All right. So this is one of the flavors I got. This is banana pudding. I've not had this before, but I'm thinking that this is a great base for doing a bananas Foster um, flavored ice cream. So you cook up your banana and caramel ribbon, and then you would work that into this ice cream, and then you'd have your bananas Foster. Let's see, what else did I get? Got strawberry. Pralines and cream. Had to get that. The cookie two-step. Got that one. And there was some rotational. The Java. Oh, yeah. I got the Java Jolt. I got peaches. I've never had peach ice cream before. I wonder how it's going to taste. Or maybe it's peachy peach. I don't know. It's one of the peach ones. But they also do a king cake flavored ice cream, and then just recently they released a Dr. Pepper float ice cream. Now, my daughter, who's 11, has never had Dr. Pepper before. Her first experience with Dr. Pepper was the float. And I thought that was kind of funny because she said, I really like Dr. Pepper. And then she had Dr. Pepper for real. And she's like, I think I like the ice cream better. So go figure. But so I did get the Dr. Pepper one and then the other 5 that I mentioned. So what we're going to do, hopefully, I have to convince the family to maybe go out somewhere and we can eat on camera. But we're going to taste test all these different flavors. As somebody who typically doesn't eat fruited ice cream, I'm kind of excited to try some other stuff. And for people who have not had like the cookie two-step, for instance, I don't think I've even had that one. I would say, this is going to be kind of a fun experience. So we'll go ahead, and I think we'll go ahead and end it here because I got to figure out where we're going to go, and then we'll go there and we'll tape it, and then I'll put it online. Hopefully that'll be today because it's such a nice day outside. It's in the mid 70s and sunny and not many clouds, way different from last weekend. It seems like whenever the Blue Angels come into town, clouds come down and then they have to do a low show, if at all. I know there was some aerial acts that were grounded because of the weather last weekend. So this weekend is great. And so I think we're gonna taste some ice cream. I know I am. Hopefully I can convince them to do it as well. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Remember, next week, Cajun Fest. And make plans to be there early, respect the parking of the other businesses, and do what you can to find a spot and then camp out there. The beer garden will not allow minors, but they do they allow drinking inside of that fenced area. But I would make plans based on what your needs are, and then there will be a stage with multiple bands. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just hoping the weather holds up. So until then, I've also got a lot of other things planned, and I know every now and then I'll tease some stuff, but sometimes when you rely on other people, you don't necessarily get it on your timeline. You get it on theirs. So anyway, I'm going to hop off now and call it a day, and then look for that ice cream shootout, so to speak, later on today or sometime tomorrow. Thanks a lot. And remember, It always starts with a brew. Take care, everybody.